Hi, Cougars. It's Mr. Franklin here, and I want to give a little feedback, general feedback on making a reflection at the end of our week. I know that this can feel tedious and can be very difficult to do just because it's the same thing every week. But the more you put into it that's personal, the more actually it's going to help you. So I do read these and it helps me plan the next week. It also helps me plan feedback and things that we need to talk about in class. So let's talk about some things that people are missing or are doing well and doing not so well. So these are actual from a student. What part of your plan worked? What part of your plan did not work? This should be, because you make your plan, you should be making your plan at the beginning of the week. And this could include things like I had planned to study or I had planned to do that on that day and I ran out of time. Okay. So I wound up having to slide it an extra day. Or I'm behind on my work, and so I added an extra thing. So that's kind of what should go here. The next section is probably the one that I really want to address, and that is most people get this, but that's where you stop. Most people read this, they might answer that, but a lot of people are like, I don't have any questions. I don't have any problems. What do I need help with? But then there's a third part, because it carried to the next page, is what do I get and don't need help with? So you should be able to summarize the things you do know. So everybody should be able to put this one. So if you're putting, I have no problems, then you definitely should have, I understand how experimental design helps me do this, this, and this. You should kind of summarize what you learned for the week. Okay. So that's part of this whole thing. So if you have a problem, tell me what you're confused or have a problem with. But if you don't have a problem, you should be telling me what you've learned. Okay. That's all. This is actually all the same block if you are in the Google Doc. Okay. It's just on a separate page. So continue working on your goals. If you've completed your goal, the purpose of this is partly to highlight that some of you had so vague of a goal, you don't have a thing to work on. So it could be, so what I really want you to think about when you're working on this is, what am I doing this week to work on my goal? What did I do? Like for me, my personal goal is writing. I wrote 2,000 words this week so far. So I can track my progress and see that I'm advancing towards my goal of writing a book. Notice this person did tell me kind of what they understand. Okay. I would like it to be a little more specific, but that's actually a good start. The next thing I want to talk about is this bottom section. This is only for what you need to do. So if you're just going to email the teacher, you put an X there and you just do that. The rest of this, you don't need it because you don't need it, but then you do that. And then don't forget the quiz score. Now, if it's a quiz where I have to grade some things, which is pretty much going to be every quiz from here on out, when you're working on this, put the quiz score that you know, okay, because I'm going to grade it and look at it and update your score. But what you're telling me when you do this is that you've taken the quiz and that you know what your score is, okay? And if it's a low score, I'm probably going to ask you, do you need help? Do we need tutorials before you take it again, okay? So this is really to flag for you what you need to do with your quiz score. So when you write that, you're telling me that you understand what you got on your score. Okay, so just a reminder, if you are going to go to CAVE, mark it. Tell me who you talked to, all that good stuff. If you did work with another student, tell me who you're working with. And then if you don't need to do any of those, you put no action required. You're welcome to email Mr. Ness, but he's going to send you to me. This is more like if you have Ms. Tennyson or Mr. Wilkin for a separate class, you can put them in there, whoever your support teacher is, and you can tell me that you're talking to them. Okay, so here's a good example of what I was just talking about. So they talked with another student to get help, okay? And then they told me their quiz score down here at the bottom. So that is completed, okay? That is what your reflection should look like. The more honest you can be with yourself, the more this is actually going to help you, because then you can go, oh, I do need to do that. I do need to ask Mr. Franklin for help, okay? Don't be shy about it. That's what I'm here for. That's when I'm the best as a teacher, is when I'm helping you work through problems. So please, please, please get in touch with me and we'll work through stuff. So, alrighty, that concludes this video on reflection and how to do that for this class. See ya.